All right, so like I told you before, most of the fraction word problems you're going to come across on test are going to be dividing. I would go ahead and say that 95% of the word problems you see with fractions in them, you're going to divide. So that's why we're spending a whole lesson just on dividing fraction word problems. You'll have a short little assignment on like multiplying word problem or multiplying fraction word problems, but I'm telling you, if you get to a fraction word problem on a test, go ahead and set it up for division because, like I said, it's going to be division most of the time. So just go ahead and set it up. So just like other times that we've talked about dividing, you can know all day long that you're supposed to divide, but if you don't know which number is supposed to go first, then you're not going to get the question right. So there is a way to know which fraction goes first. And here is your list. So the fraction is going to go first if it has these words beside it in the problem. Have, has, needs, contains, and area. All right, and what confuses people a lot of times is when you see the word area, you think that when you're doing area, you always have to multiply. But this is going to be one of those questions where they give you the area, but you're missing one of your sides. So like they'll tell you the area is 35. They'll tell you one side is 7. You got to know I need to divide 35 by 7 to get that missing side of 5. Okay? Or you can have your second fraction, and these words will tell you that it's going second. Each, per, those are the main two. Width, length, and serving. Okay, so if you see those words in the problem next to a fraction, it means that fraction is going to go second. So even if you don't have any of these words up here listed, if you see these words listed, then you know that fraction has to go second. So then whatever the other fraction is has to go first. Okay. I have attached in Canvas a handout of questions that we're going to be using for notes today. I highly doubt in these 15 minutes that I'll get through all 10 questions, but I'll get through as much as I can, and hopefully you'll get the hang of it by the time we finish. So this is the handout I'm talking about. So the first one says, Ramon has 2/3 cup of cake mix. If each cake requires 2 nights cup of cake mix, how many cakes can Ramon make using all the cake mix? Okay, so hopefully you noticed that some keywords were just said in that sentence that we might have just written down right here. Okay, the first one I notice is has. Okay, and then the next one I noticed is each. All right, so remember, whatever fraction is attached or nearby to that word, that's what's going to be going with or telling you what goes with that word. So like right here, I've got 2/3, and then right here, I've got 2 nights. So this one was nice because it really gave you both. Sometimes they'll just give you one, so then you have to know, okay, that one goes first, but this one actually gave you both. So it's kind of like a double whammy that it told you what it was going to be. So has is in my first fraction list, and then each is in my second fraction list. So 2/3 has to go first because it has with it, divided by 2 nights. Okay, so then once you understand what the order is, then you can just go solve it. Okay, so this one should be pretty straightforward. We got to keep, change, flip. So I keep 2/3, change the division sign to a multiplication sign, and then you flip 2 nights to 9/2. Okay, I can cross cancel to make life a little bit easier. What goes into 2 and 2? Well, obviously that would be 2. So that would be 1 and 1. What goes into 3 and 9? Well, that would also be 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So now, when I solve this, my fraction is 1 over 1 times 3 over 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is 3 cakes. So even though she only has 2/3 cup of cake mix, she can make 3 whole cakes with that cake mix. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. Mrs. Peel has 11 1/4 pounds of cookie dough. A batch of cookies requires 2 1/2 pounds of cookie dough. How many batches of cookies, can Miss Peel make? Okay, so this is one that I was talking about. It only gives me one keyword. The only keyword I have in this problem is has right here. Okay? Has is a first fraction word. So that tells me immediately that this one right here has to go first because it's attached to has. There's no keyword that goes with 2 1/2. I don't have any words on that list that go with this one right here. But since has is with this one right here, I know that it has to be 11 1/4 going first. And then 2 1/2 would have to go second. Okay, so once again, even though there's no keyword going with this one, there is a keyword for this one. So that tells you this one has to go first. And that's why this one would go second. All right, I got to fix some things with this one because I have mixed numbers. Remember, when you're dividing fractions, you have to have them as fractions, okay? These are mixed numbers, so I got to fix it. So 11 times 4 is 44, plus 1 is 45. I don't want to keep change flip anything yet. I want to get my problem set up like it's supposed to be. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so that's going to be 5 over 2. Okay, now things are good. It's okay that they are improper fractions. What matters is that they are fractions, not mixed numbers. So now I can keep change flip. I'm going to keep 45 over 4, change the division to multiplication, change 5 over 2 to 2 over 5. Okay? Once again, there's some cross canceling that I can do. What goes into 5 and 45? Obviously, that would be 5. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 5 divided by 5 is 1. What goes into 2 and 4? 2. So that would be a 1 and a 2. So now when I rewrite this, I've got 9 over 2 times 1 over 1. 9 times 1 is 9. 2 times 1 is 2. All right, so if I change this to a mixed number, 2 goes into 9 4 times, and I have 1 left over. So 4 1/2, I don't think I can fit batches in, but we'll try it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Let's try to remove this notebook. Sorry. All right. So the next one says, Josh has a wood board that is 12 1/2 feet in length. He must cut it into 5/8 foot pieces for his shop class. How many pieces can be made from Josh's wood board? Okay. This one might be a little confusing because there's multiple words going on here. The first one I notice is has right here. All right. He must cut it into, there's no keywords that go with this fraction. But if you notice the word length right here, length is also on your second fraction list of words. And technically, I guess length is closer to 12 1/2 feet than it is to the word has. But you kind of have to understand the context of the question. If it's a first fraction word, it's talking about how much that person actually has. And I know I keep saying that word, but how much that person has, like how much do they have with them? How much do they need? So this length right here is not really important. The questions that you're going to need the word length are going to be when it's an area question. This is not an area question. It's not talking about length and width. It's just talking about how long this board is, okay? So they could have worded it differently. They could have said it was 12.5 feet long, okay? So please don't let that length confuse you right there. So since has is a first fraction word, that tells me that 12 1/2 has to go first. Yes, it's kind of far apart, but you can obviously tell that has definitely does not go with 5/8 way down here. So 5/8 would have to go second. Okay? I do need to fix that 12 1/2. Remember, you can't have a mixed number. So 12 times 2 is 24, plus 1 is 25. And I just want to rewrite it. Okay? Now that things are in fraction form, I can keep, change, flip. Okay? So I'm going to keep 25 over 2 the same, change division to multiplication, and then flip 5/8 to 8/5. Okay? I can cross cancel. What goes into 25 and 5? That would be 5. So this is a 5. That's a 1. What goes into 2 and 8? That's 2. So that's a 1 and a 4. So now I've got 5 over 1 times 4 over 1. Multiply straight across. You get 20 over 1, which is just 20. So it would be 20 pieces. Okay. I'm actually going to skip to number 5. Okay. 4 is very similar to the ones we've done before. So I want to skip to 5 because it's a little bit different, or what I was talking about a little while ago. So it says, well, let me take that back 1 second. I'll at least set up number 4 for you, and then you can solve it on your own. So Mr. Blankenship has 1/2 pound of candy to give to the top 3 finalists in the spelling bee. If each finalist receives the same amount, how many pounds of candy will each finalist receive? All right, so once again, I see has. Has is with this 1/2. I also see the word each. And when you see the word each, what's it talking about? It's not talking about each candy. It's talking about each finalist, okay? Each is a second fraction word. Each is talking about the finalist. Well, what number goes with finalist? And that would obviously be 3. So that's kind of another sign that 3 has to go second. But even if you didn't catch on to that, has is a first fraction word, so has to go first. So we'd set it up like this. Now remember, you can't solve it like that. We need to rewrite it. So 1/2 divided by, change that to 3 over 1. Now you can keep, change, flip. So 1/2 times 1/3. And then you would just solve it. Okay? I want to jump down to 5 real quick. A rectangular flag has an area of 3/8 of a square foot. The length is 3/4 of a foot. What is the width of the flag? So here's what I was talking about earlier. I see the word area. I see the word length. All right, area is going with this one right here. Length is going with this one right here. Area is a first fraction word. Length is a second fraction word. So this one has to go first. And then 3/4. Okay. I don't have any mixed numbers, no whole numbers, so I can just go ahead and start to keep, change, flip. I keep the first fraction, change division to multiplication, and then flip that to 4 over 3. Okay. I can cross cancel. What goes into 3 and 3? Obviously that's 3. So this would be 1 and a 1. What goes into 8 and 4? That's going to be 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now my fractions are 1 over 2 times 1 over 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So that's going to be 1/2 is your width. Okay? So I definitely didn't have time to finish all these problems. I encourage you to finish them, put them in your notebook. If you have any questions about any of these, please email me, and I will definitely help you out with making sure you got the right answers. But don't forget, this is not your assignment for the day. This is just for your notes, okay? So please don't turn this in as your assignment. You also need to complete your assignment, okay?